I'm gonna hit record here. Usually I just let them upload to Facebook, but for some reason downloading videos from a Facebook page goes really slow. So I'm just gonna record this here in Zoom. And I'm going to get this going on Facebook Live while we're waiting for people to come in here. Looks like we got a few people coming in. If you guys have questions, please add them to the Q&A module here in Zoom. And all right, we're gonna go live on the ClickFunnels page. All right, there we go. All right, so we got questions up, we got the chat up. So if you have questions, please add them to the Q&A. That's the order I'm gonna go in. If you have follow-ups to a question, if I'm going through your question, you can add those responses to the chat. Oh, actually, I just gotta get this. I gotta get this added to the ClickFunnels group here, and then we will be ready to rock. All right. All right, there we go. Awesome. We got Ron here from North Carolina. Peter has the first question here in Zoom. How would you split test product prices? Order form steps can only have one price for each. You know, I've been thinking about that one too. So let me share my screen here. And I'll turn off the video. And let's go to a funnel here. So if I have an order form, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but let's just say I have two products, okay? So let's just change the name of this product. Let's just do split test 1. Let's change this to US dollars just so it's consistent here. And then I'm going to create a second product. And I'm going to call this split test 2. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to name your product that because that's what your users or your customers are going to see. This is just for me. Oh, let's just do a one-time product. I'm not going to mess with any of the other settings. All right, so I've got two products here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test creating a variation, create a duplicate page. And then what I want to do is actually hide one of the products. So I'm gonna have to fill this out. We go to the second step here. Oh, hold on. Hold on, it's populating the wrong thing for my, there we go. So I'm just gonna fill this first part out. And okay, so now I have these two products. So I wonder if I hide one of these, but I'd have to hide the entire product. So if I were to add this to this page as some CSS here, I just copy that selector exactly. I just do display none important. That should hide that product, that first product. However, my concern is that the product wouldn't be selected automatically. So that's what I'm going to test out here. So if I go and preview this page, this is my variation. So now so that's the problem, is the product isn't selected automatically. So, I mean, there's probably some JavaScript where you could select this product on the different variations. So it could probably be done with some custom code. Um, and it, I don't know, I could probably dig into this one a little bit more, but um, so I mean, I think it could be done with some simple custom code, um, and some CSS, maybe some JavaScript, things like that. But yeah, that that you could do it that way. Now on an OTO page, you can do a split test of price on an OTO page, because you can do two products. And for example, I could do, upsell. I could say this upsell is $97. So I could say 97, and then I can create a second product, and then I could do like upsell, 87 or something like that, if I want to just test the price and see what converts better. And then what I would do is, on the actual upsell page, you can have two products here, and then create a variation. And on one, so I have my button. So once this loads, I can show you guys. Not a lot of questions coming in today. I guess don't have as many people on as we usually do, but that's all right. All right, so for this button, what I would do is I'd select this product, right? And then on my variation for the button, I would select the other product. So it's a lot easier to split test price on an upsell page. On an order page, it could probably be done with some custom code. But yeah. You got a question from Emmanuel on the Facebook Live video. He's asking, can this work with services? I have a mobile detail business. Can I make funnels even if I'm a service? Absolutely. So, I mean, you're not delivering a product. You have a service, but one of the things you could do is build a list, get an email list, and have emails, follow-up funnels going out to those people. So, you drive traffic to your opt-in page, and then they can go from there to a thank you page. Another thing you could do is, because it's like a mobile detail business, I'm sure, whatever your prices are, let's just say you charge $200 normally for detailing, or whatever it might be. You could sell them maybe a voucher for a special discount, for the first time customers, something like that. And so you could have like an order page, where they do that. You could also do continuity for existing customers. So you send an email out to existing customers and send them to a special sales page and say, hey, you've used my services in the past, and you pay $200 each time. If you sign up for a monthly, then it's only going to be $167 a month or something like that. And you set them up on an auto pay subscription. Every month they get automatically billed, so they save some money, and they get their card detailed every month or something like that. So there's a lot of things that you could do. I'm not really the strategy guy when it comes down to it, but I mean, those are just some ideas I have off the top of my head. So let's see. Next question from Beverly. I have a funnel right now, and I don't know if I have the Facebook tracking pixel done correctly. I have the Facebook pixel code on the opt-in page tracking header. I also have the specific Facebook pixel lead shorter code on my thank you page. Is that how it should be? So you're gonna have your generic pixel on the opt-in page, and then the lead on the thank you page. Yeah. So basically, if someone makes it to the thank you page, they've opted in, and so they would be a lead in that case. That makes sense. I mean, it really depends on your whole ad strategy and everything that you're doing, but that seems correct to me. Once again, I'm not a Facebook ads expert. Cian is asking, can you go over setting up my email so I can send out emails? So are you referring to SMTP setup or just creating the emails themselves inside Actionetics? While I'm waiting for follow up there. I'm not sure. Actually, is it Cian or Sean? Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. So SMTP setup. So SMTP setup. Let's go ahead and close out some of these pages here. Okay, I said it right the first time. So it's Cian. All right. Wasn't sure if it was like an Irish spelling or something like that. All right. So let's go here. So we go to SMTP settings. And this is really going to depend on what you're using for your SMTP service. Send13 is probably going to be the easiest one to set up. And they're very strict on spam. But they're made for marketers. And so you can set them up. You get 12,000 free email sends per month once you connect your ClickFunnels account with the webhook. So in the Send13 settings, you'll see there's a webhook down at the bottom that you paste into your settings in Send13. So it really depends on which one you're going to use. If you're going to use Send13, you'd go to the website. Let me get logged in here. Let's see if I have a password saved here. Here we go. And then what you need to do is when you first sign up, you're going to fill out all your information. So you have to put your credit card information in. Oh, Sienna's asking, that's for ActionX. You're using ConvertKit. Yeah, so if you're using ConvertKit, it's a little bit different. You would set up all your emails inside ConvertKit, and then you would go to account integrations and connect ConvertKit there. So this is for any email integration. You would connect it. Oh, you canceled ConvertKit. Okay. So yeah, so this is with Actionetics. So I'll go back to SendGrid here, or Send13. So you got to enter your credit card information. They verify that you're legit, not a spammer. And then you go to API and go to event filter after you set this up. Scroll down, and this is where you're going to paste that webhook from your ClickFunnels SMTP settings. So you're going to get that webhook URL here. You're going to highlight that and copy it to your clipboard. And then you paste it in here. Make sure you check all these boxes, submit the changes, and then you're going to click on this DKIM SPF setting right here. Now, when you do that, you're going to have to add your domain here. So you're going to click add a domain key. And you're going to enter the domain, just the domain, not www, not HTTPS or anything like that. So it'd be like myfunneldomain.com, which I actually already have added down here. So I would add that. And then it gives you these records here. So you're going to have to go to your DNS. And so if you've set up your custom domain using Cloudflare, you do this in Cloudflare. So I'm going to log in. and go to DNS, and then I would copy these records over, and these are going to be added as text records, TXT records. So I change this to TXT right here. I paste the first one right there, paste the whole thing, and then I'm going to copy this whole thing right here, and that's going to go in this. Then I'm going to save that, add record, and that's going to be my DKIM record there. And then I need to click on this SPF button, and this is going to give me an SPF record. So I think I actually have another SPF record. You can only have one SPF record. And so if you're using another SPF, you would actually just copy that. I can't remember how to configure two SPFs. You can replace it or you can edit it. I think it's something like that. I could be wrong though. I'm not sure if I need this second includes here. I'm going to save that anyway. And then you'd click on validate settings. And yeah, so the SPF is not validating for some reason. So let's take this include out. We'll just leave a space there and go back here and validate again. Let's see, it's still not validating. Not sure why. It is getting the webhook though. Sometimes it takes time for the DNS to propagate. Let me just see if there's anything else here. This is the fun part, is messing with the DNS records. But you got to get this to validate. So make sure they're text, not CNAMEs. So both of those are. Oh, I see, because I'm using it's a different domain. That's why. So hold on. So here, check this out. I did this wrong. So save that. Then I actually need to create a different SPF record for the root domain. That's what I did wrong. So I just do that and paste that in there. Save, add record. Now I should be good. Or not. Well, it might might not have updated yet. Sian is asking, should I create a domain first before setting up the SMTP? I use GoDaddy. Can I change from GoDaddy, or do I have to use Cloud Host? I think you mean Cloudflare. Yeah, so you need your domain, because you have to add a domain in order to use Send13 here. When you set up your domain, you don't have to move away from Cloud or from GoDaddy. You can still register your domain there. So basically, you have GoDaddy. This is where it gets all discombobulated with DNS and stuff like that. You have GoDaddy, where it's registered, and then you change your INS records in GoDaddy to point to Cloudflare. And then Cloudflare manages all your DNS. So it says, for this, go to ClickFunnels. For this email, go to Send13. This is where it kind of tells the internet what to do, basically. So you can keep your domain registered in GoDaddy. You do the setup with Cloudflare, and then add the records you need for your SMTP. So hopefully that makes sense. And once again, I don't know why it's not validating here. It should, but yeah, that's all you have to do to get that set up. And then you obviously, well, I didn't go over this part, but you add the information here with all your domain information. So, all right. Beverly had a follow-up about Pixel. So would you have the Pixel code with the lead code on the thank you page header tracking code, or only the lead code? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure you have to have the whole code with the lead code in it. You have to have the whole pixel. in order for it to fire correctly. But once again, I'm not a Facebook ads expert. So, all right. Sam's asking, is ClickFunnels worth it if we don't already have social media websites and accounts? Absolutely. It's a great place to get started. Byron is saying Cloudflare isn't hard to work with. No, I love Cloudflare. But however, for people who are just getting started with DNS, um, DNS is kind of one of those things that makes you curl up in the fetal position and want to cry. So Michael, it looks like Michael's responding to Beverly saying you need the event pixel is what it sounds like, to answer your question there, Beverly. Peter had a question here. Are we limited to split testing only 2 pages now? Didn't the old ClickFunnels interface allow more than 2 split tests? Yeah, so what happened was you used to actually be able to create unlimited, but then it just got out of control. We updated it. It changed. So right now you can do 2 split tests, and you can change how heavily you want to weight that traffic. So if you create a new split test and you're like, yeah, I want to get 80% of my traffic going to that new variation to test it out, then you can get more traffic to that variation, and you can do it that way. So right now it is just 2 variations. So you test different things, and then you declare a winner, and then test something else, and go from there. Peter says, to answer Beverly's question about Facebook pixels, put the base pixel code in your funnel tracking settings and put the event pixel in the page tracking settings. So to show you that, go to settings right here. This is where you put your base pixel code then, is what Peter's saying. And then in the page editor itself, go to settings, tracking codes, and put the event pixel in the tracking codes in the page. So that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that. I'm more than happy to admit that I'm not a Facebook ads expert, but I do know what I'm talking about with ClickFunnels when you're building stuff. Santa's asking, is this call and the Wednesday call Q&As all the same? Just 2 different opportunities to ask questions? Yeah, I actually do these Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the same time. So they're pretty much always the same. Just you can come ask any questions you guys have. But yeah. Okay, so we had some questions here in the chat. Kirk was asking, can you show how an action funnel works with constant contact as the contact source, and you want to broadcast the first email to a contact list that they already opted in? So you're sending the email from Constant Contact or from Actionetics? I'm not sure. I'm not clear on that one there. What is the best way to add shipping charges in? So there's actually a new code snippet that got added to Funnel U that allows you to add shipping charges. And so that's inside Funnel U. It's called the International Shipping plugin. So you just log into your account there. And that is a separate account. Otherwise, if you don't need different shipping charges for different countries, you can just build it right into the price. Normalina is asking, does ClickFunnels have a preferred webinar service or already have that function set up? So not for live webinars. We integrate with GoToWebinar, Webinar Jam Studio, and now Zoom. And so you can create your webinar registration page where the contact goes, and this is where they register for the webinar, and you integrate with one of those webinar services, and it registers them for your webinar. After they opt in, they'll actually be taken to a confirmation page in ClickFunnels. And then what will happen is that webinar will take over with their reminder emails and send reminder emails. And then the webinar broadcast is actually done through the other webinar service. So those emails, send them there. It is possible you can set up your own broadcast page in ClickFunnels and your own emails and embed like a YouTube live video on the page for your live webinar. You can do that as well. I actually did a tutorial on that. It's in the help desk. Um, and so you don't necessarily need another webinar service, but you can if you want. So Ariane is asking, what about having a URL not Cloudflare? So you can set up a domain using, I don't go over this a lot because it takes a little bit longer to set up. The domain propagation is usually a little bit slower. But you can add a domain using our automatic setup. You still need a Cloudflare account. It still goes through Cloudflare, but you don't have to change your name servers. So basically, it kind of looks like this. Setting up a domain is kind of like what I was showing before, right? You have like GoDaddy, right, where your domain is registered, and you change your NS records to point to Cloudflare, and then Cloudflare points everywhere else. So you manage all your DNS inside Cloudflare. That's the kind of traditional way. For the automatic setup, the way that it works is your domain. Let's say you're using GoDaddy. You don't have to change your name servers. Okay, you don't change those. All your DNS is managed in GoDaddy, just like usual, and then your DNS points out everywhere. But for your specific domain that you're adding to ClickFunnels, that's going to go to Cloudflare. It still runs through Cloudflare, just kind of in the background, but you don't actually manage anything in Cloudflare with it. And then that goes to ClickFunnels. So it's a little bit easier to set up, but there is a bit of a delay when you do that because you're waiting. So Cloudflare is super fast at propagating DNS changes. However, if you're using another registrar, you're waiting for them to update your DNS changes. It's issuing an SSL certificate, which literally can take up to 72 hours. So if you have an existing site and you want to add a subdomain for your ClickFunnels pages, this automatic is a really good way to go. If you're just doing full domain, this way you can do either way, but this way is a lot faster. I have a friend who has a business, like energy upgrade type business, and I was talking to him last night. He's gonna come do some stuff for my house, and so I was like, I'm gonna post about this. I mean, I want to get him some referrals from my Facebook friends, and so last night I set up a domain. I registered a new domain. I built out an opt-in funnel just for posting on Facebook. I'm not even running ads or anything to it. Just for my friends to opt into. That's how much I like ClickFunnels. But that way he can get leads. But the domain was ready to go from registration. Like the longest it takes is like 15 minutes for the domain to register, at least through my registrar. So 15 minutes for the domain to actually register, and then adding it to Cloudflare is like 5 minutes, and then setting it up in ClickFunnels is like 30 seconds. So like literally like 20 minutes of waiting, just waiting for stuff to propagate. The DNS stuff to update was about 20 minutes. And so I bought the domain first, and then by the time I had the funnel set up, like everything was ready to go. And it was like an hour of just tweaking the funnel and changing stuff and doing all that kind of stuff. I designed a quick little logo, and so I'll show you guys what I did here. What is it? BoiseEnergySavings.com is the domain I did. So this was the page I set up last night with a domain and everything. So the thank you page is exactly the same. This changes right here and says thank you for your information. So anyway, basically, let me see. Let me go back to the questions here. Michael's asking, is there going to be a 2.0 editor for memberships anytime soon? So yeah, that button is missing, but one thing you can do, if you have a membership area, you go to your membership area and then open it up in the editor. And then once it loads in the editor, I'm going to show you a little trick here. So once you see this URL up here, you're going to go up to the address bar and just put your cursor right after the word editor right here. So just right after it, and then type underscore v2, and that'll open up the membership page in the version 2 of the editor. So you can edit your membership page. But yeah, there is the button missing right here. It does not open up in the version 2 editor, but this is a way to get around that. Okay, so back to Kirk's question here about constant contact. So he's using constant contact instead of Actionetics. So basically, what you're going to do, you're going to set up your emails inside constant contact, and then you'll want to integrate. You go to integrations and add your constant contact integration here. So you just connect. Make sure you give it a name. And then once you integrate, you would go into the actual page editor for the page, for your opt-in page or whatever page you're integrating, go to integrations and then select your constant contact integration from the drop down here. I don't have one, but then you would just complete all these options to add them to your constant contact account. And then all the automation. So basically the contact gets added to constant contact, and then any automations you have set up for the list that you add them to there would trigger once they get added. CN is asking, what is Funnel University? What other classes are available? Funnel University is basically Russell hacks a few funnels each month to show you guys like what people are doing. You actually get a print newsletter each month with it. And hold on, I'm gonna pause the video. And then you get the DCS Labs bonus. You get this book when you sign up. You get this book when you sign up. You get all the videos on a black card. There's also in DCS Labs, there's all these different things. And then inside Funnel University, there's all these custom scripts for customizing things. So you can do promo codes. You can, let's see what else. So promo codes, cart mode turns it into like an e-commerce store where people can select multiple products. So there's all these different things inside Funnel U. Yeah, that's what it is. What other classes that are available? There's Ignite Your Funnel, which is a 21-day, 21-day just kind of getting started with ClickFunnels. You can do that. There's also the affiliate bootcamp. If you go to affiliatebootcamp.com for training on becoming an affiliate, it's all based on promoting ClickFunnels, but you can use those concepts for promoting any affiliate products that you want, really. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there's the funnel hacks training. There's a lot of stuff out there. The 2 Comma Club coaching, fill your funnel, a lot of different stuff. Those are higher ticket things. So yeah. George is asking, when setting up with ClickFunnels, will auto set with Cloudflare? If you do the automatic setup, it will. So if you don't have a Cloudflare account and you do the automatic setup, so you can do automatic setup and you can just create a new user here, put in your email, create a password, and then add your domain. Now, if you get an error, so like if I do, domain.com or whatever, it's probably not going to let me do this, but domain already added. So cool, awesome, domain.com. It's you say it says Cloudflare user no subdomains because you actually have to do a subdomain here. So you can do www right here, and it'll allow you to add that. So it has to be a subdomain when you're using this, which www technically is a subdomain. So if you're doing your whole site on ClickFunnels, your whole funnel, you're just using it with the root domain www. You would want to get your root domain, which is in this case cool awesome domain, and you would point that, you would redirect it to the www. So that way people get to your site either way if they put the www or not. So let's see. Okay, back to the chat here. Let's see. Normalina was following up on webinars. I have a client who wants to use EverWebinar. You can use EverWebinar. We have automated webinars built right into ClickFunnels. EverWebinar is a little bit different. It's a different user experience. So, I mean, you can use either one. Kirk had a question here about SendGrid. Said, do you know SendGrid? My trial is finished, but I've been told they have a free version that will send a limited amount. I don't have any active funnels now, so I don't want to start paying until I was ready to activate my funnels. But I also don't want to lose my SMTP setup, which I've done with SendGrid. So SendGrid used to have a free account, and you can be grandfathered in on that account if you set one up previously. But they no longer offer that free account. It's only the free trial. Let's see. Damien's asking about the recordings. Yeah, so if you go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, all the recordings of these Q&As are on there. Let me get the link for the resources page here. This actually has a bunch of different links on it for you guys. Post this in Facebook too. All right. Yeah, so actually, so here's the links for Affiliate Bootcamp, the Funnel Hacks webinar, Ignite Your Funnel. This one's actually a really good training on learning what Actionetics can do. Some share funnels if you want funnel templates, stuff like that. Ara asks, I'm new to ClickFunnels. Can you show how to put online after I create my funnel? So when you create a funnel, it's actually already online. It's live. You would start sharing the URL, sending out emails, posting on Facebook, things like that. But yeah, you don't have to necessarily do anything to make it live, except make sure that it's not in test mode in the funnel settings. Just make sure you're not in test mode, and you're good to go. Sherry's asking, is there a way to integrate the product purchased with a product ID in Stripe so that ClickFunnels sends that info to Stripe too? So you want to send, if I understand you correctly, Sherry, you want to send the ClickFunnels product ID over to Stripe. Is that correct? Cian is asking, what is the difference regarding conversation? I think you mean conversion between doing live webinars and auto webinars. I don't really have like a case study on that. That's a good question for the Facebook group. I've actually seen people ask that in there before. So, it's a good question. We've done both. Russell did live webinars for Funnel Hacks for a year every week. And then there's, the automated webinar. So, so Sherry's saying the other way, send the product name Could be called an ID in ClickFunnels to Stripe to integrate into the Stripe ID field. So basically you create the product in Stripe first and then pull that info into ClickFunnels, I guess. Is that what you mean? Paul had a question here. He said, regarding domain setup, I've done it manually since I wanted to use my whole domain on ClickFunnels. The domain was bought on GoDaddy and hosted on Bluehost. Then I changed the name server settings from GoDaddy to Cloudflare. Do you know what DNS record settings I need to delete in Cloudflare? It just, I mean, honestly, it depends. I mean, you can see I have a ton of DNS settings for this domain, and I think most of them I actually need. I mean, the ones you have to delete are like your a record for your root domain and your www to make sure that it's pointed at ClickFunnels. But I mean, honestly, DNS is so case by case. It's tough to say. Normally, it's asking for the resource page. I actually added that to the chat. You should see that in the chat there. That's a Google Docs link. Let me know if you don't see that. Dwayne is asking, why does ClickFunnels have two editing sections? So I'm guessing you're referring to like where you edit the page or edit page in Classic Editor. Is that what you're referring to, Dwayne? Oh, I see. So Sherry's saying, I want to be able to look at Stripe and know what product people bought. Okay. It should say it should have the product information in Stripe. I haven't looked at that in a while, but it should have that in Stripe. I'm gonna look into that and see. Dwayne said yes. Okay, so the Classic Editor is just the older version of the ClickFunnels editor. You don't need both. It's just we just left the link here just in case people want to go back and use the Classic Editor because that's what they're used to. But this, when you click the edit page button, is the new version of the editor. So they accomplish the same things, but just a newer version. Okay. So here I'll add that link to the or to the chat. If you're on Facebook, it's in the comments. Michael had a question here. Me and my clients and mentors find that there's a slight decrease. Oh, this must be referring to auto webinars. They find there's a slight decrease, but super slight decrease in sales. However, you can have 20 webinars a day, so this decrease in sales is well made up for in the amount of traffic you can drive. That makes sense. So you can send more traffic even if you have a lower conversion rate. You still actually have higher revenues. Just allow mobile users to register a time and desktop people to watch it right away, and we saw increases all over. That's great advice, Michael. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think I got everybody's questions. If I missed your question, I apologize. And just in time, too. Wrap these up at 1:45. And I'll be back next week. Peter saying Stripe shows the product name under payments, payment details, description. So let me go into Stripe here. Just logging in on another monitor, make sure I don't have any private information. Let's see. Oh, come on. Okay, so this is just my demo account here. So if I gotta go to test data to see anything. So you go to payments, payment details. I'm just gonna click on and then description. Yeah, nothing's showing up there. Interesting. Huh. I wonder why that is. So it's just not broken out. So I send info from Stripe to Active Campaign to get people in the right funnel when there are different options to purchase. So one thing you could do maybe that might, so basically you want to segment in Active Campaign based on the product they purchase is what it sounds like. So let's see, got too many tabs open now. One thing you can do is go to your product settings in ClickFunnels. And then in your email integration tab in your product settings, integrate with Active Campaign right here. And then you can add them to a list or tag them in Active Campaign based on the product so you could have a different tag based on whatever product they purchase. That should achieve the same result for you there. All right. Dwayne is saying my text isn't showing like I designed it. Reach out to our support team on that one so we can take a look and see what's going on there. But that's gonna be it, you guys. I'm gonna call it there, and I will. Oh wait, hold on. Sherry had some on the bump order form. In the two-step order form, it doesn't work. ClickFunnels sends info from the first page. If you do it in the email integrations, it shouldn't send it from the first step of the funnel. It should only be done when people purchase the product. If you add the integration in the product settings itself. So if you add the integration into the page editor, then it'll send the information when they purchase the product. So, or when they complete the first step of the two-step order form. So, all right, now I'm really going to say goodbye, and I will see you guys next week. So have a great weekend, and see you then.